Oscar,
Hey TJ.
your background looks a little bit different, man. Doesn't
Yeah,
look
yeah, starting. I said, I'm not in a basement, not in a basement. I'm in my little library here, so I'm excited. My books are finally up. My music is up.
you're
Yeah,
in the study.
I'm in my study.
There you go.
I'm
And
a dude with a study.
there we go. And there's no Blair Witch Project look to this. Now you just look like a refined Harvard man.
I know, right? Yeah, even my chair, man. Look at this chair. Look at this chair.
Yeah, you're
What?
refined.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get into some things because this might be one of our last videos for a while.
Yes.
School is starting back for both of us, the jobs that actually pay us.
Hmm.
Um, so we're going to have to decrease the frequency that we make videos. Summer session's over, but we still do hope to continue to especially interview our alums, our
Absolutely.
students, and when there's time, we will update on some current events if people still want to hear that.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
plan.
and if there's anything people want to hear that we didn't do, email us, put some comments in our videos, and give us feedback. We'd love hearing from the alumni and our community friends.
Yeah, and especially if any of the things if you have a question on something like you want to hear our take on online learning, that's something that is relevant, really relevant right now, but it doesn't have
Hmm.
to be, it's not as time restrictive.
Right.
So we could talk about that at any time. So if
Yeah.
you do have ideas, things you want us to talk about that could be talked about at any time, please send those to our DMs, email us, however you see fit.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get into something great, which is baseball was back last week, and
Baseball is back.
Padres are kicking butt,
Yes, they are.
looking good. These new, faster, quicker Padres, and the NBA is back today. Games count officially.
Mhm.
The Lakers and the Clippers, the two favorite teams to win it all this year, play together,
Wow.
which means it's a great day to arrest the killers of Breonna Taylor.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And the WNBA, which we've talked about before, has already started.
Mhm.
The NBA and the WNBA have taken a COVID, um, they both have a bubble. So
Yeah.
there's one campus where all of the league is. And so that's
Mhm.
their approach. But the WNBA has been very vocal about um, representing Breonna Taylor and Black Lives Matter.
Mhm.
And they have it stitched on their jerseys. They have it
Yeah.
on their shoes. And the NBA is looking to do the same thing. I sent you an article earlier today about uh, that each NBA team is making Breonna Taylor an honorary fan,
Yeah.
and she will be talked about during press conferences. She will be represented on in while watching NBA games, and this is something um, that many NBA players are happy about because many of them didn't want to go back and play because they wanted this movement to get more attention, and they thought
Yeah.
that sports would take away from that.
Mhm.
And so now they're using their platform to be able to both entertain, but to also be able to bring back to the forefront these injustices.
Yeah. So I mean, they're doing what they can do. It's keeping her name alive in the culture, generating that pressure from the community, and ultimately people that have more of a line to those pressure points need to exert that pressure on the people that have the ability to charge them with murder. And ultimately, that's got to be people in Kentucky that do that.
And interestingly enough, I saw that Chris Paul, as well as other NBA players, actually called Breonna Taylor's mom.
Mm.
And they're doing many, many things beyond just saying her name. And saying her name is important.
Yeah.
And there's actually like a Instagram and Facebook campaign where women are posting black and white pictures of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Many don't know why they're doing it, but
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a few that are educating everyone about Turkish women and the domestic homicides that are happening to Turkish women with it's not always their spouse, sometimes it's another male family member who is their killer, and they're
Yeah.
getting no sentence, no trial, or if they are convicted, they're getting very light sentences.
Yeah. 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 And it's important to do that work because sometimes policy and lawmakers will follow the culture. So once they perceive that their general community is expecting that action, then they feel more safe in going out on a limb and prosecuting people or passing laws. So it's important for the public not to give up hope that something can actually happen, because otherwise, if the public gives up, a lot of these officials who probably don't want to act will see that they have a way out not to act.
Very true. So the pressure needs to stay on. Pressure needs to stay on. And if the
Yeah.
NBA this year is just a commercial for Breonna Taylor, then let's get it.
Yeah.
They actually made justice their third goal. So the number one goal was to keep everyone safe and healthy.
Okay.
Number two goal was to crown a champion of the year, and then the third goal is social justice.
Great.
So,
Great.
we're going to actually transition now into a loss of a social justice warrior. John Lewis passed away this week. He goes all the way back to being, fighting for social justice along with Martin Luther King Jr. and was fighting for it up until he passed away this past week.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to even know what to say about him. I mean, it's so I grew up Catholic, and we believe in saints, and there's like these people that you hear these tales about, and Catholics pray to saints, and then when you learn their stories, you're like, did someone like that really live? These people and the stories they tell about them, like were they really real? And man, if he wasn't a saint, he put his whole life on the line for everyone's benefit. We've benefited from the laws that they passed. That ruling for gay people came out of the Civil Rights Act. They benefited, and to be so selfless and so brave at that young of an age. He was a freedom rider. To ride those buses into Mississippi. We were 19 and 20. And be attacked by people at a time where there weren't video cameras. I mean, it's you feel small when you learn more about him, and it's got to be an inspiration for people to do what they can. I mean, I don't think we can all live up to him, be that, but everyone can certainly do more, and try to make ourselves worthy of the example that he set out.
And so to have that type of a stretch, like that length of time, when especially going to now when we have such a gotcha culture, and we have a cancel culture, and for there to be that, into his 80s, and there not to be anything to take down his character, is amazing.
Yeah,
is amazing. And so he did great things, and he set a great example, and he never stopped.
I'm glad that we appreciated him in his lifetime. I think that, certainly, because when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, even the early 2000s, I didn't know much about him. And there was a point where, I don't know why, but he came onto my scene, and I started learning more about him. So like, he's still around, and he's been here this whole time. I'm glad that he's still working, and he's still in the thick of these fights. So I'm glad that we got to see him in action at that stage of his life and appreciate him and celebrate him. And man, all these giants are gone. It feels like we look around and it is just us. These people that led these fights in the 60s, they're not there, and no one else is going to save us. We all need to do more.
And we are. And we push forward in these movements take different forms.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's TikTokers.
I see sometimes those TikTok. Yeah, sometimes it's the leaf blower battalion.
Sometimes it's the leaf blowers, leaf blower dads, and sometimes it's, whatever it is.
Yeah.
We do our part.
Everyone can do something.
And as we kind of close out summer session, I do think that is something that I cannot overstate, which is that the people we've chosen to interview those people to show that they are doing their part and they're building their legacies now. Yeah. And now is not too early to start building your legacy.
Yes, true.
You build a home one brick at a time. Mm-hmm. And so that's one thing that I want people to take from our summer session. And he's an example of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's how you aligned your life with your goals. And some people did that at a very young age. They just knew to do that.